What's up YouTube, Jeff back again from DopeTechDaily.com, and for all of you guys that have been wanting a little break from the Galaxy S9 coverage, today I have it for you. Today I'm going to share with you guys my unboxing and impressions on the Xperia XZ2 from Sony. Now obviously I already have the phone out of the box. In the past I found it always easier for me to use the phone for a day so I can give you guys some impressions at the same time I do the unboxing. Otherwise the unboxing by itself is a little, boring in my opinion. Anyway, the phone's right here, and we'll take a look at it in a second. As you guys can see, I've got the deep sea green color of the Xperia XZ2. Looks very nice. Let me show you guys what's in the packaging really quick. As you can see right there on the side, deep green. I imported this from Taiwan from a seller that's actually in eBay. If you guys want to check it out and purchase one, I think it was $885. I'll drop the link to eBay below. If you take it out, Sony really doesn't have much in their boxes. It's kind of one of the worst presentations in terms of the actual things you get inside the box. Samsung does a much better job these days. There's some information about Xperia Lounge. If you take out the bottom, I haven't touched any of this yet. You've got your power brick, which takes USB to USB Type-C. You do have a USB Type-C to 3.5 millimeter adapter. That's because there is no 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on here. So you will need that. So I'm going to put that back in the box so I don't lose it. There's some warranty information and documentation stuff in here. Of course, if you actually buy this and import it to the US from Taiwan, you won't be entitled to any warranty. So for those of you who actually want to buy the phone and use it, as your main phone for several years, I highly recommend waiting till it comes to the US, which it should do in a few months. Then you can get the US warranty. Down here you also have your USB Type-C cable, plug into your charging brick. You've got your extra ear tips for the headphones, and then they do throw in some nice Sony earbuds, which usually in the past have sounded pretty good. I tried the ones that were with the XC Premium last year, and they were actually of pretty good quality, so Sony is throwing in some decent earbuds when you actually purchase the phone from them. And that's pretty much it. That's everything that comes in the packaging. Like I said, no real big surprises. It's exactly what you would expect to get in a phone package. Nothing too fancy going on with the box there. So in terms of the phone, let's talk about it. Let me give you guys some impressions on this. Obviously, you can see Sony greatly changed their design language this year. The back has a very nice curve to it. You can see the back curves around, so it contours to the hand really well. It's got a glass back, kind of like the Samsung Galaxy phones now. Fingerprint sensor on the back does work. It's going to work in the US as well. Whatever problems they had with the fingerprint sensor are now gone, so when the phone officially launches in the US, you'll be able to get it with the fingerprint sensor. 19 megapixel rear camera, which does shoot 1080p at 960 frames per second, slow-mo. I definitely want to put that up against the Galaxy S9, the S9 Plus, a little slow-mo battle going on. Around front, you can see they obviously have slimmed down the bezels on the phone. This is now 2160 by 1080. So we do have some of that extra tall aspect ratio action going on. But as a lot of people have commented, the bezels aren't really reduced as much as some of the other devices. I'll show you guys a comparison here to the Galaxy S9 and to the Galaxy S9 Plus. I'll also show you a comparison to the Pixel 2 XL. You'll notice that there's still some chunky bezels at the top and the bottom, but personally I think it looks pretty good. You got your power button right here, your volume rocker right there. You do have a dedicated hardware shutter button for the camera, which is a really, really nice thing to have. It's something that I really like for taking photos, and I have been playing around with the camera a bit. Having that dedicated shutter button is definitely a really nice feature. I've taken quite a few photos with the camera so far, and obviously I'll have a little bit more of a camera comparison coming up soon, but I've been impressed with the camera. It does have a low light performance that's better than the XC Premium. Not sure that it's better than the Pixel 2 XL or the Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. Pretty similar camera interface from Sony. Their selfies are a little bit better than the ones I've seen on the S9, the S9 Plus. So if you're a selfie lover, this might be a camera that you're interested in. You still have an LCD panel here, but the LCD panel, as usual from Sony, looks fantastic. I'm a really big fan of that so far. One thing I will say is that they've definitely kept their software close to stock, which is another thing that Sony has done in the past. Very similar settings to stock. They just make a little bit of customizations. A little bit of a colorful theme in the settings menu itself, the full settings menu. Seems like a lot of people are going that way. Even Android P now has a colorful settings menu. You do have the option to get the pixel swipe up gesture to get to the app drawer. That's actually not the default though. If you long press on the home screen and go into settings, you'll find a lot of options in here. And one of those options is to actually add icons to the home screen, which is off by default. That's something you probably want to turn off. The other one is to hide the app's icon. That'll actually put your app drawer there if you turn that off. If you turn that on, then you'll have the Pixel launcher where you actually swipe up. It's very similar to the Pixel launcher. Swipe up to get into your app drawer. Another thing that I really like about the stock Sony launcher is that you can apply an icon pack. You guys probably noticed I am running a third-party icon pack. This is the Oreo icon pack, showed off in one of my Galaxy S9 videos. You can also get the stock Sony icons if you want, but I like the option of adding my own icon pack, and that's what I've done here. A couple of things about the build quality that I will say right out of the gate. The phone is very slippery, which isn't great because there aren't a lot of cases out here for this phone. There probably won't ever be a lot of cases, especially in the US. I found it hard to find one that I actually want to purchase on Amazon. I've been looking for quite a bit. The sides are matte, even though, matte metal feel to them around the sides, but the back is very slippery, and because of that curvature to it, it's really easy to slip out of your hands. The fingerprint sensor location is probably my biggest gripe about this so far. Obviously, it's quite low. If you actually compare it, and let me actually go ahead and just start with the comparison to the Galaxy S9 Plus. If you compare it to the S9 Plus, you notice that the S9 Plus has its fingerprint sensor at about the same place that the camera is on the Xperia XZ2. That makes it very difficult for me because I'm switching back and forth between them. I keep putting my finger right on top of the camera when I'm trying to unlock the phone. I do think the sensor is a bit low. If you compare it to, even if you compare it to the Pixel 2 XL, you'll notice the Pixel 2 XL has its fingerprint sensor way, way, way above where the one is located on the Xperia XZ2. I just don't think it's a place where you default to putting your finger. I've asked a lot of other people and they seem to agree with me on that point. And the other big thing, of course, is that you do not have the 3.5mm headphone jack on this. You've got USB Type-C there. Up here you've got your SIM tray where you can also expand your storage. It does have the Snapdragon 845, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage out of the box. Seems to hum along really nice, of course, because of that light skin that Sony puts on top. I've been very impressed with the performance. I like the build and the actual look of it in terms of how Sony has evolved things, aside from where that fingerprint sensor is located. Obviously, I will do a full review on this phone because it is such a big change from what Sony has done in the past. AT&T and T-Mobile do work on this version from Taiwan, so if you want to import it and get it right now, you can. But as I said, you will not have a warranty, so I highly recommend waiting until it comes to the US officially. So this is a 5.7-inch display, 2160 by 1080. It's actually a rather big phone though, considering the screen size. You guys know the Galaxy S9, which is right here, has a 5.8-inch infinity display. And if you notice, if you put your S9 versus the Xperia XZ2, the XZ2 is quite a bit taller. It's also, well, not too much wider, but it is a little bit wider, and it's quite a bit thicker. So that is one thing I'll say. It's a bit of a chunky phone, especially for the screen size. If you put it up against the Galaxy S9, it's really easy to see why people are saying that this is a chunky phone. If you put it up against something like the Galaxy S9 Plus, the S9 Plus has the 6.2-inch infinity display, and the Galaxy S9 Plus isn't even really that much larger than the Xperia XZ2 from the side profile. It's also thinner. It is a little bit wider. If you put them like this, you can see the Galaxy S9 Plus is a little wider, but that would be expected because of the fact that it is a little bit bigger phone. If you compare it to the Pixel 2 XL here, just on the side profile, the Pixel 2 XL is a pretty big phone. It is taller than the Xperia XZ2. The XZ2 is still wider though, and if you actually compare on the home screens here, if you just take a look, you'll see that the bezels are still a little bit chunkier on the XZ2 than they are on the Pixel 2 XL. And I would say the Pixel 2 XL has pretty big bezels, all things considered, with the extra tall aspect ratio. And then the final phone I wanted to show you guys, which is a very, very small 5.7-inch display. That is the Essential Phone PH1. If you compare the XZ2 to that, you'll notice the XZ2 is way taller. It's also similar in width, and the thickness is similar here as well, but way taller than the Essential Phone. So Sony definitely didn't slim down the bezels as much as they possibly could, and if you compare it to some other flagships, it's definitely chunky. But anyway, I like the way Sony's headed. Let me know what you guys think. The removal of the headphone jack and this strange fingerprint sensor placement does bother me, but I don't think it's a deal breaker, and I think a lot of people will still be interested in this phone. Hopefully Sony will start selling these with carriers in the US again soon. I will have the Xperia XZ2 compact to review as well if you guys are interested in a smaller version of this phone. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon so I can make future videos like this. You guys can find me at dopetechdaily.com, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter. The links in the description. You can also find me writing over at gadgethacks.com where I write about Android. Appreciate you guys checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.